Hello everyone, welcome to the Fisher Download. I am your host, Dan Fisher, Editor-in-Chief of Uncommon Ground. Welcome to our new video series. Every week I'm going to be recording a little video going through everything that we've published each week, just in case you missed something. So, this week we have, let me start with saying I'm very glad to be back. We recently rebranded from Kanatus News, now Uncommon Ground, with me as Editor-in-Chief. And so far things are looking up. Obviously we've had a few site issues. We are aware that the comments aren't currently functioning, but we're hoping to get that fixed shortly. So, this week on Uncommon Ground we have had a number of new articles, interesting ones. Let's see, we have had starting from Okay, so last Saturday we published two articles. First of our articles, quite popular one on, forgive me for not pronouncing this correctly, but her name is Jala Tavakoli, Danish-Iranian critic of Islam, and she's been threatened with having her foster child removed because of her public involvement in the debate around Islam. She shared a video of ISIS terrorists killing two tourists, and now they're threatening to declare her incapable or unsuitable for further fostering, and threatening her with even the removal of a current foster child. As you can imagine, this is deeply concerning. People's families are often an incredibly effective way of getting to someone, and so obviously if governments start targeting people's ability to maintain their family based on their politics, this could have an incredibly chilling effect on people's freedom of expression, especially in the political sphere. And the next article we published on the same day, the Saturday, put out an article on legal troubles of the Southern Poverty Law Centre. Maurice Dees, the founder, has resigned amongst scandals about sexual and racial mistreatment within the organisation. This should come as a surprise to absolutely nobody who's paying attention. I've been railing on the Southern Poverty Law Centre for years. Other people have. Majid Nawaz and Quilliam recently sued them successfully for defamation. But this is, as far as I'm concerned, it's only the beginning. The entire corrupt non-profit industry needs to be taken down. The influence of big money, of unethical practices within the non-profit activist sphere needs to really be curtailed. This is something I discuss in my New Left series. And it's very easy for ordinary people who are not tuned into all of this to be swept along by the assumption that these organisations like Amnesty International, Southern Poverty Law Centre are good, well-meaning organisations fighting for people's rights. Well, they might be fighting for people's rights, but if it's for their own self-aggrandisement, if it's for their own self-interest, then the causes would really be served better by organisations which are more reputable. And this is going to be a long process of rooting out the corruption at the heart of this industry. So, we move on to the Monday. We published an anonymous article on schism within the so-called LGBT community. The transgender movement obviously is alienating its allies one by one, turning on gay people, gays and lesbians, telling them they're transphobic unless they're prepared to sleep with transgender people, even though obviously sexual attraction is based on biological sex. They're claiming it's based on gender, it has nothing to do with genitals, which is obviously nonsense to anyone who isn't actually bisexual. And this was quite a popular article. On Tuesday, we published an article on, again, forgive my pronunciation, Malinche from Mexico. She was Cortez's translator, and she helped the Spanish ally with tribes against the Aztecs. She is commonly considered in Mexico to be something of a traitor, even though the Aztecs were a bitter enemy of hers. She was a slave. She had every reason to try and oppose them, and she couldn't have possibly known that the Spanish were going to be just as bad, or that they were going to bring in a number of diseases which would ravage the population of Mexico. And of course, yet again, the violence of thousands of men, brutal, bloodthirsty men, manages to be blamed on a woman who was doing what she could in the circumstances to make the best life for herself. And this certainly feeds into the view that we should stop being blindly loyal to countries and rather be loyal to ideals instead. Something that I have argued continuously. On Wednesday, we published another part of our interview with Dr. Caleb Black on secular therapy. We also published on Tuesday a review of The Four Horsemen, a book which was recently released, which is a transcription of a debate by some of the big new atheist figures. And the article includes a little bit of a retrospective on the atheist or so-called new atheist movement as a whole. And then yesterday, on Thursday, we published a perspective of the People's March, which happened the previous Saturday, to demand a second referendum for Brexit. And this contains some images taken by the author. It's quite an interesting perspective. He talks about the feel of the march, the mood of the protesters, the spirits, some of the signs and flags that he saw during the demonstration. It's worth a read, even if you are not a fan of the so-called People's Vote. And today, Friday, we published an article on terms and conditions on websites and how they relate to the social contract, something I think is a fascinating subject. Is a fascinating parallel. I really think that's a brilliant idea, because more and more these tech companies are essentially being put into the role of moderators of our social discourse. Well, they have ignored that for years, and now that it's being asked of them, they are potentially coming down too hard, too soft. The question is, on what possible moral authority do they have to dictate what we should be allowed to say, what we should be allowed to discuss in the public sphere that our social media forums have become? So we've had a pretty interesting week. Hopefully this summary inspires you to check out some of those articles which you may have missed. All the links will be in the description below. Welcome to our new site, and hopefully you will follow us from here on as we cover more subjects, as we produce more videos. If you like this video, do subscribe, leave a like and a comment underneath. We also have a Patreon which you consider donating to. We'd be very grateful. There is also a donate button on our site. Thank you very much, all of those fans who have stayed loyal, all our new fans who've come on now that we've rebranded to Uncommon Ground, and we hope to see you many, many more times in the future. This has been Dan Fisher, Editor-in-Chief of Uncommon Ground. Thank you very much for listening, and we will catch you soon.